Cause although time passed, I'm still down. Yeah, she saying, boy, you been on a mission. Yeah, she know my pharaoh flow, hieroglyphic. Yeah, she mean he in his own element. Periodic flow, check the table. We can do the shit at the final table. We can put this all in like Phil Ivey. You has to put it lightly. When I say I'm all in, I mean till 6:23 a.m. And the neighbors knocking again and knocking again. It's that passion all up on 10 and all up on 10. It's my motivation. Tell me that it go in. See that 6:23 a.m. See that 6:23 a.m. See that 6:23 a.m. What's your 6:23 a.m. See that 6:23 a.m. 3 a.m. See that motivation. Tell me that it go in. I do it for the dollar. Working on this passion late night, working like da-da-da-da. Yeah, like da-da-da-da. See me working, boy, but I'm always up early with the eagles flying. And I won't create a sound unless it's mystifying. Or do a show every night electrifying. Right hand on the Bible, that's me testifying. No, Lord, I swear, oh man, I'm a part of them. Got my back, that's why I rock with them. And my shorty riding on the equestrian. All these questions coming about what I step in. They wanna do that now. Do that now. Do that now. Do that now. When I take you out there, you best believe that I'm on that 6:23. knocking again and knocking again. It's that passion all up on 10 and all up on 10. It's my motivation. Tell me daddy go in. See that 6:23 a.m. See that 6:23 a.m. See that 6:23 a.m. What's your 6:23 a.m. See that 6:23 a.m. 3 a.m. See that motivation. Tell me daddy go in. She feel the ink on my skin. I like the vibe that we in. I'm rolling, she joking when these words become that ocean. And blue dots on the this much could be that ocean to everything that you've been open. So what motivates you? Tell me why you up at 6:23 a.m. And the neighbors knocking again and knocking again. It's that passion all up on 10 and all up on 10. It's my motivation. Tell me daddy go in, daddy go in. See that 6:23 a.m. See that 6:23 a.m. See that 6:23 a.m. What's your 6:23 a.m. See that 6:23 a.m. 3 a.m. See that motivation. Tell me daddy go in. I need you to say something, cause although time passed, I'm still down. Yeah, she saying, boy, you been on a mission. Yeah, she know my pharaoh flow, hieroglyphic. Yeah, she mean he in his own element. Periodic flow, check the table. We can do the shit at the final table. We can put this all in like Phil Ivey. That's to put it lightly. When I say I'm all in, I mean till 6:23 a.m. And the neighbors knocking again and knocking again. It's that passion all up on 10 and all up on 10. It's my motivation. Tell me daddy go in, daddy go in. See that 6:23 a.m. See that 6:23 a.m. See that 6:23 a.m. What's your 6:23 a.m. See that 6:23 a.m. 3 a.m. See that motivation. Tell me daddy go in. I do it for the dollar. Working on this passion late night, working like da-da-da-da. Yeah, like da-da-da-da. See me working, boy, but I'm always up early with the Eagles flying. And I won't create a sound unless it's mystifying. Or do a show every night electrifying. Right hand on the Bible, that's me testifying. No, Lord, I swear, oh man, I'm a partner them. Got my back, that's why I rock with them. And my shorty riding on the equestrian. All these questions coming about what I step in. They wanna do that now, do that now, do that now, do that now. When I tell you out there, you best believe that I'm on that 6:23 a.m. And the neighbors knocking again and knocking again. It's that passion all up on 10 and all up on 10. It's my motivation. Tell me daddy go in, daddy go in. See that 6:23 a.m. See that 6:23 a.m. See that 6:23 a.m. What's your 6:23 a.m. See that 6:23 a.m. 3 a.m. See that motivation. I used to worry about the shadows. I hated knowing there was something there that I couldn't see. I thought the monsters out my window, yeah, they were waiting for me, they were waiting for me. But now my fears have started changing. Now I'm worried about all the things to come. Yeah, mostly I've been scared of failing. I feel the weight of the world is pushing down on me. Cause I could write every song and never say a thing. I could have what I want but still know what I need. I could hide all my problems inside a melody. Wish I could go back to the day when it was only night that made me afraid. When it was only lions and tigers, but now it's heartaches and liars. And wondering just what does the future hold. Cause I don't know, I don't know. Sometimes I stand out by the ocean. It makes me notice there is something so much bigger than me. Keep trying to come up with the answers. I still don't know if I can figure it out. But in a life made up of moments, we're all nothing but memories. So much pressure on the present, people say who you gotta be. Empty faces in a crowd of people standing in front of me. Feels like everybody's watching. Cause I could write every song and never say a thing. I could hide all my problems inside a melody. Wish I could go back to the day when it was only night that made me afraid. When it was only lions and tigers, but now it's heartaches and liars. And wondering just what does the future hold. Wish I could go back to the day when it was only night that made me afraid. When it was only lions and tigers, but now it's heartaches and liars. And wondering just what does the future hold. Cause I don't know, I don't know. When did the monster become the man in the mirror? When did my understanding of life stop at the ceiling? I could tell you stories of sleepless nights and worries of all the things I cannot control. Wish I could go back to the day when it was only night that made me afraid. When it was only lions and tigers, but now it's heartaches and liars. And wondering just what does the future hold. Wish I could go back to the day when it was only night that made me afraid. When it was only lions and tigers, but now it's heartaches and liars. And wondering just what does the future hold. Wish I could go back to the day when it was only night that made me afraid. When it was only lions and tigers, but now it's heartaches and liars. And wondering just what does the future hold. Cause I don't know, I don't know. I used to worry about the shadows. I hated knowing there was something there that I couldn't see. I thought the monsters out my window, yeah, they were waiting for me, they were waiting for me. But now my fears have started changing. Now I'm worried about all the things to come. Yeah, mostly I've been scared of failing. I feel the weight of the world is pushing down on me.
Okay, let's give it a sec. Let's figure it out.
Move it up. Move up. Camera on.
It should.
You're fine. It's chill. Turn it back on. Yeah, you're good. You're good. It was actually unplugged from the back of the computer.
Good morning. If I have your attention, please. At this time, time, we're ready for the band to start playing. We're ready to welcome the class of 2018. So please stand as the class comes in. for the singing of the national anthem by the Bigfork High School Choir under the direction of Mr. Sky Dorsey. Thank you, Mr. Thorson and the Bigfork High School Choir. Good afternoon. Give me a hot seat. I'm Alan Robbins, the principal of Bigfork High School. It is my pleasure to welcome all of you, parents, grandparents, family members, and friends, to the commencement exercises for Bigfork High School's class of 2018. At this time, please welcome Bigfork School Board members, Mr. Paul Sullivan and Ms. Christina Grelio, along with the Superintendent of Bigfork Schools, Mr. Matt Jensen. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for all being here to celebrate our seniors. Today is a special moment for the graduates and their families. Graduation is a time to show honor and respect towards all of this year's graduates. Please recognize that each of our graduates deserves to enjoy today's moment as their names are announced and when they receive their diploma. With this in mind, please give your applause and cheers appropriate in length to recognize that long-lasting cheers may cause the next graduate not to have their name be heard and enjoy their moment receiving their diploma. We thank you for making this a dignified and respectful ceremony that honors each and every graduate. So this year has been a special year at Bigfork High School and a very busy year with all of the construction, the room transitions, and settling into the new Bigfork High School. This year we have been generously blessed with our newly renovated building and a school that is a modern school that provides excellent learning environments for our students. We're so fortunate to have such a supportive community. I'm honored to stand in front of Bigfork's High School's class of 2018. During my years in education, I cannot think of a group of students that I would see as more worthy of being the first students to graduate in a new and renovated building. This group has set the bar high from early on, and I know that they'll continue to do that and continue to model excellence. About a month ago, while reading in the morning, I came across the list that makes me think of this class. The heading to the list is Skills and Competence, 11 Keys to Excellence. The list emphasizes the importance of combining both art and art as excellence is pursued. The list really speaks to who this class is as a group of seniors. The list of these characteristics or attributes is, first, value excellence. Second, do not settle for average. Pay attention to detail. Remain committed to what really matters. Display integrity and sound ethics. Show genuine respect for others. Go the second mile. Demonstrate consistency. Never stop improving. Always give 100%. And make excellence a lifestyle. In the class of 2018, I challenge you to continue striving for excellence as you have done. And as we close your final chapter of Bigfork High School, I want you to know that you will long be remembered for the example you have set for others to follow. And I personally, as principal of Bigfork High School, thank you for that. What we now want to focus on, though, today is the one achievement that's common to all seniors. And this class has been, just like I said, an excellent class with pursuing excellence. We have 10 that are going to receive top honors today. And it's been, the last weeks have been interesting for me because we're working to make sure those 10 were able to maintain that 4.0. At the same time, while we were working with another 12 that we wanted to make sure we received those last credits. And I'm proud to say that 100% of them reached the bar. And they all are receiving the same thing. We've done the same thing today, is that they have met the standards and they will be receiving their diplomas today. And that is their common achievement. Again, the class of 2018, we are really proud of you, and I mean that very sincerely. And we know you will continue to be successful, and look forward to watching your successes and hearing back about what you are doing. So it is now my privilege to introduce Senior Class President, Grace Olakowski, for her welcome on behalf of the class of 2018.
Before we begin today, I would first like to, on behalf of the class of 2018, thank Mr. James Kelly for coming all the way back to Bigfork from Utah just to give our commencement address today. So let's give him a big round of applause. Welcome, graduates, faculty, family, and friends. I'm Grace Olakowski, the Senior Class President, and it is my honor today to welcome each of you to the graduation ceremony of the Bigfork High School Class of 2018. The class of yeah, you can clap. Go ahead. This class of 2018 exemplifies an unstoppable team. When we walk out of the doors of Bigfork High School today, get ready, because we are going to take this world by storm. In a class of just 65, we have young men and women who are going on to become doctors, orthodontists, professional athletes, business men and women, political commentators, authors, engineers, film directors, FBI agents, photographers, military servicemen, to name just a little of what Bigfork High School brings not to just this town, but to this world. We are prepared to face tomorrow, but the only reason we are ready for this is because of you. We, as the class of 2018, would first like to thank our parents. Your support and dedication to this graduating class means more to us than maybe we show, but it is because of you that we have been raised in the way we should go. Thank you to our superintendent, Matt Jensen. You always have the students' best interests in mind, and thank you for being a force of encouragement behind each individual in this graduating class. We would like to thank our principal, Alan Robbins, for supporting us and reminding us that we all have what it takes to succeed. Thank you to our secretaries, Ms. Lander and Ms. Varner, for your smiles when we came into your office, and for just being there, ready to help us with anything we needed. We would like to thank the people who quietly make Bigfork High School one of the greatest high schools in Montana. To the janitors that keep this school spotless, to the bus drivers that got us to school on time, cafeteria staff that kept our food hot, to those that cut the grass and plowed the snow out of our parking spots in some cold, dark Decembers, to our tech guy, Bo, for keeping our data secure, to our athletic director, Mr. Kramer, for supporting the impressive athletes of BHS. To you all, we say thank you. We want to thank the voters that said yes to funding the renovation of the brand new Bigfork High School. We say thank you to the construction workers that diligently took this place from just a school to a place of thriving, where we did and where others will for years to come. We would like to thank the world-class teachers of Bigfork High School. Your time, your commitment, your excellence and dedication, and your love for these students is Hall of Fame worthy. The collaboration of teachers in this small town is world-renowned, and we have had the privilege to learn from teachers who care enough to push us to the next level while taking the time to get to know each of us at our level. And finally, to the class of 2018, I am grateful for the tremendous honor to be your class president. Look around. You are 65 absolutely awesome, spectacularly talented individuals that make up this class of 2018. Each one of you, with your individual talents and skills, is what sets our graduating class apart from the others. Something will be missing when we go. It may be our love for others, our intelligent minds, our sweet souls, our spunk, and sometimes our sass. It may be our attention to detail and our big belly laughs and our school spirit and the way we stood up for each other. The ways we ran and sang, acted and wrote, the way we played and joked, the way we listened and spoke. The way we believe in ourselves that makes others want to believe they can too. The way we, the class of 2018 walk through these hallways, leading with respect and honor for our peers and our elders. As we say goodbye to high school today, we say hello to a future that is so bright, and it may be a little daunting too, but we are an unstoppable team, and we are ready. That world out there, it is ours for the taking. At this time, I would like to introduce our very own Bigfork High School Choir, who will be singing I Lived by Jacob Nargaru, directed by Mr. Skyberg Thorson.
Hope when you take that jump,
Bigfork choir members and Mr. Carson to share your talents with us. It is now my privilege to recognize our students that have earned top academic honors for the class of 2018. And as I introduce the valedictorians, I ask that you please hold your applause until they all come to the stage. So I'm very proud of this group of kids and the example of excellence. This class has 10, like I said earlier, students that completed high school with a perfect 4.0. We've had years where we have had no perfect 4.0s. And what a standard they have set before us. So I'm going to announce the 10 students along with where they will be attending college. And again, I ask that you please hold your applause until they all come to the stage. So we have Michael Bedford, Whitford University in Spokane, Washington. Abigail Ellison, Montana State University, Northern Harvard, Montana. Riley Hovland, Harvard University, Cambridge, Massachusetts. Reuben Hubbard, McDaniel College, Westminster, Maryland. Bryn Morley, Northern Arizona University, Flagstaff, Arizona. Grace Olakowski, University of Montana, Missoula, Montana. Alyssa Pankos, Linwood University, Bellevue, Illinois. Melissa Paulson, University of Montana, Missoula, Montana. Cameron Rogers, attending Flathead Valley Community College, and then going to Montana State University in Bozeman. And Logan Taylor, attending Flathead Valley Community College, and then also going to Montana State University, Bozeman. So please give these 10 a very warm. Like I said repeatedly, this is a very amazing group of students, and every one of them is so deserving of this top recognition. As a group, they decided that 4 of them will be speaking today. The 4 that will soon be speaking are Riley, Reuben, Melissa, and Michael. And I will introduce our first speaker, Riley. When we talked about who was speaking, I asked and they decided 4 of them. We told them, they said, well, I need to get a copy of what you'll be saying. Riley was the first to come in and say that, and with a big smile, she said, I'm introducing the other 9, but I'm not going to speak about myself. And I just think it speaks to who she is, and she just has this confidence, but she has this true humility about her. And I said, well, that's really not fair. We need to introduce you. And I said, I'm going to introduce you. And again, she said, no, I really don't want people talking about me. But then she relented, and I'm going to introduce her a little bit. So she, and I have to confess to you, she later did send me an email that had the subject about me. So she did provide a little bit of information about her. So Riley, I've really been privileged with all of these kids to really have them in high school. And Riley, what's impressed me about her is she's so focused on her goals. And she shared that she set her goal to attend Harvard when she was in 6th grade. She is a Bigfork K-12 student, and during her time in high school, she was the editor of the yearbook, editor of our school newspaper, captain of our speech and debate team for 2 years, and a state champion in memorized public address. Her fellow valedictorians speak of Riley's academic talent along with her outstanding work ethic. A direct quote from one of the 9 behind me is, Riley is one of the most dedicated, persevering, and compassionate people I've ever met. And above all else, she is reliable. Riley is confident about who she is, passionate about her beliefs. She wants to promote change in positive ways. Another student shared about what a great friend she is and how they truly appreciated how Riley reached out to them in a genuine way. The student provided a quote from Thomas Aquinas, "There is nothing on this earth to be more prized than true friendship." And that made me think about this class and how many deep and true friendships are in this class among each of you. So it is my pleasure now to introduce our first speaker, a great student, a passionate individual, and most importantly, someone seen as a dedicated friend. Please welcome Riley Hovland.
Thank you, Mr. Robbins, for those kind and unexpected words. Good morning, family, friends, and graduating seniors. My name is Riley Hovland, and I am one of your valedictorians. It is my profound privilege to introduce the rest of the valedictorians of the Bigfork High School class of 2018. There are 10 of us, and as I'm sure you know, it's unusual to have 15.8% of the graduating class hold a 4.0 GPA. But these 9 students that stand behind me are the most kind, hardworking, and intelligent young adults that I've ever met, and I'm honored to call them my friends. Allie Pancoast has not missed a day of school in 8 years. She... Yeah, I agree. She is strong in her faith, very bubbly all of the time, and is rarely seen without a smile on her face. Allie plays for 4 soccer leagues and will be headed to Belleville, Illinois in August to become a Lindenwood Lynx. Allie dreams of being an orthodontist, and she's the only person I've ever met who has a neurosurgeon as a backup plan. Bryn Morley is a name that is probably extremely familiar to you. She's a 3-time state champion in cross country and an 11-time state champion in track. I once had a dream that I beat her in a race, and even in my dream, I knew that that was impossible. Bryn is headed to northern Arizona to run cross country, outdoor track, and indoor track. I've never met any athlete, no, any student, as hardworking, down-to-earth, and environmentally friendly as Bryn Morley. Logan Taylor is known for singing Christmas carols in the hallways in September. He impersonated Taylor Swift at this year's Mr. Bigfork, singing Teardrops on My Guitar better than the Princess of Pop herself. He loves country music, Louis L'Amour, and fall because it's elk season. Logan is headed to Flathead Valley Community College on a full-ride scholarship to pursue business and GIS. Logan is strong in his faith and gives every day to God, but many may not know that Logan led prayer group diligently every Tuesday before school for 4 years. Grace Olakowski is the editor-in-chief of the Norse Code, the creator and lead anchor of the Norse Code newscast, and a proud Christian. Grace received the full-ride Presidential Leadership Scholarship to attend the Davidson Honors College at the University of Montana, where she will give the UM Kaiman newspaper her Olakowski charm. I've been lucky enough to call Grace one of my best friends for the past 4 years, and I do not know how I'm going to go through the rest of my life without my design editor by my side. I love you, Grace. Whew. Cameron Rogers works over 40 hours a week during the school year. He works extremely hard at everything he does, whether it's tutoring all of us in probability and statistics or tossing pizza dough at Rosa's. He's receiving a full-ride scholarship to Flathead Valley Community College, where he will pursue accounting while working in accounting for Rising Mountain Assisted Living. He's strong in his beliefs, his morals, and his faith. Cameron has the kindest heart, a very recognizable laugh, and he's always on time, partially due to his driving. Nevertheless, he is someone you can truly count on. Abby Ellison was captain of the volleyball team and a varsity starter of the basketball team. She moved here from Chinook our junior year. We had 7th period in Mr. Rowe's office together, and she made me laugh every single day. She is sweet, faints at the sight of blood, and is an amazing friend. Better known as Mabel or Beater, Abby will be headed to MSU Northern in the fall to play volleyball, going from Sugar Beater to Valkyrie to Skylight. Reuben Hubbard is the king of getting everything done at the last minute, but 10 times better than anyone who spent days on it beforehand. He's literally a 2-time state champion and making stuff up. Design editor of the Lilac Yearbook and is headed to McDaniel College, or as his friends like to call it, McDonald's School for the Gifted and Talented, on the full-ride Dorsey Scholarship to pursue cinema. Melissa Paulson is the kindest soul to grace Bigfork High School. Her affinity for words inspires me every English class, and her novel Writer's Block, available on Amazon, proudly lives on my bookshelf. She will be headed to the University of Montana in the fall to pursue a degree in English, but already Melissa is my favorite author. And I'm not just saying that because she was my government review partner. Game nights at her house throughout junior and senior year brought joy to even the most stressful weeks, and you will never meet a more driven individual. Michael David Bedford Jr. is opposite to me in almost every way. He's a musical genius, a future pathologist, the recipient of my valuable top locker, and my lab partner in forensics. I've been friends with Michael ever since the gifted and talented group Focus in elementary school, and I will never forget when he was showing off his Taekwondo skills and fell flat on his back in 3rd grade. Now he's a 2nd-degree black belt, the recipient of 2 huge scholarships to pursue academia and music at Whitworth University in Spokane, and someone that I'm lucky to call a friend. Those are the valedictorians of the class of 2018. None of us come from the same path in life. None of us have the same backstory. And that says a lot about this class. We all arrived here in different ways, with different stories, but we all come together as a class of 2018. We are hardworking, driven, and intelligent. We are jokers, we are best friends. But most importantly, we have created a bond as strong as the bricks that this new school is built from. Please welcome Reuben Hubbard.
This class has always been tight-knit and amazing. I remember marrying Q and U with those of us who have been here since kindergarten. I remember when Bo and Tanner, the tallest kid and the shortest kid in 3rd grade, became best friends. Apparently they still talk. I remember bidding wars in Mrs. Pierce's class, in the sand in Mr. Pitts's, our Hunger Games mania during 6th grade, and squirming with discomfort when Pokey played us Mr. Parr. And then we came to high school. Sometimes when middle schoolers come to high school, whether from Bigfork or from Swan River, they aren't prepared for what's about to happen, and they flounder. However, this class freaking traipsed through the vocab tests, isosceles triangles, rock identifications, and pig dissections that made up freshman year. Throughout high school, as we found our own paths, we've remained close. And now, our time at this wonderful institution is coming to a close. As we move on to our brighter futures, seeking our better lives, the only way it can be described is bittersweet. There are some of you that I have seen for almost every single day for the last 13 years who I will never see again. That's really sad. Luckily, we all have phones and Snapchat and Twitter and Instagram. By the way, my Twitter handle is RuHub, R-U-H-E-B-B, same as my Snapchat, so if you haven't, please hit me up. I know that the only thing that can push this bittersweet meter towards sweet is that I'll be able to check in with you, or pass on a joke, or pass on a controversial opinion, because we know this class loves those. One thing I hope we can remember is to not take ourselves too seriously. It's possible that I'm one of the last people you would expect to be giving this advice. I take myself too seriously all the time. But the reason I'm giving it is because I need to remember it most of all. Right now, seniors run this school. However, we're leaving our beautiful little Bigfork nest and going to Kentucky, Texas, Arizona, California, Georgia, all over the country. Heck, I don't know if you guys know this, but one of us is even going to Harvard. We'll be violently yanked down from our senior status to lowly freshmen in our colleges, or apprentices in our trades, or entry-level employees in our careers. Something that I constantly remind myself of is that after this day, I will probably never be ranked 1 again. And that's okay. The competition that we will face as we try to reach the #1 spots in our respective fields will make us stronger and more confident. We have proven time and time again at this school that we are capable and hardworking, and we will succeed. I have no doubt of that. A common sentiment among my peers is one of fear. Many of us are nervous to take these next steps into adulthood and what that brings. I'm not nervous. I'm excited for us. Adults love to say that life only gets harder, that we'll want to come back to these years, that it's difficult and stressful and things are bad. Bring it on. I know this class, and I know we will push and work and go far, all with a smile on our faces. I'm excited to see what Mr. Jordan Claveria achieves in economics, what Olivia Martell is able to portray in theater. I'm sure we'll see Kate Ford's work hanging in the MoMA and Savannah Webster's music on our Spotify playlists. We're truly an exceptional group. I want us all to remember that while we ran this school, we don't run this world. Yet. Please welcome Melissa Paulson.
My fellow graduates, over the past 4 years, we have learned a multitude of unique things. Mr. Feller taught us how to find logarithms and solve for imaginary numbers. Ms. Ball taught us how to properly cite our sources. And Mr. Appleby taught us how to be philosophers and get the most out of our lives. Now, all of this knowledge will no doubt be valuable as we move on towards the next great chapters of our lives. However, I sincerely believe that the greatest thing we can learn is how to be good people. Now when I say good people, I don't just mean people who compliment others, who volunteer their time, or who pay for that ultra skinny, non-fat vanilla latte the person behind them ordered at Starbucks. All these things are great, don't get me wrong. But the best way to be a good person is to choose kindness in every situation. When you see someone in need, help them. When a charity like the Red Cross asks for a measly $10 donation, donate. We do not have to be superheroes in order to change the world. Instead, it is important to realize that it is simply the little things that matter most. From here on out, let us make it our life mission to make a positive impact on the lives of every person we meet. It is no secret that we will be going down different life paths after today. While some of us are staying in state for college, others are going out of state. While some are joining the armed forces, others will choose to join the civilian labor force. However, it does not matter where we go. Whether it be offering a polite smile to a stranger and striking up a friendly conversation with them, or choosing to eat lunch with the person sitting by themselves, kindness, surely, is possible in all situations. As renowned actor Ed Helms once said, "Don't be afraid of fear, because it sharpens you, it challenges you, it makes you stronger. And when you run away from fear, you also run away from the opportunity to be your best possible self." Let us all be our best possible selves and change people's lives for the better. For truly, it is not hard to do. After all, each and every single one of you here today have ultimately changed my life for the better by being a part of this quaint Bigfork community. Thank you, and please welcome Michael Bedford.
Good morning, everybody. How are we all doing? Pretty good? Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around every once in a while, you could miss it. I always thought that quote sounded great in a microphone. But, of course, that quote comes from the famous movie Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I hope you all see it. If you haven't seen it, it's really good. But what Ferris Bueller is trying to say in this quote is that if we get too caught up in our lives and our work, if we don't look up, if we coast through our life, we're going to miss all the memories that we were meant to make, the ones that we would love and look back on. These memories that we make through our lives, through high school, through college, through our relationships, everything comes together to make us who we are in the future. And we hope to spend those with the best people in our lives. So today I'd like to inform you of a few of my memories I've had through high school and just relate that to our class and how it affects our future. Of course, I have to start with my first memory as a freshman, when we all did really dumb things. And this has to do with Augie Emsley, which now you know it's going to be really good. It was the first night that Augie was ever going to spend the night at my house. And we were having a Nerf dart war, which is what you do as freshmen, by the way. And we were a little distance away from each other, and Augie's shooting at me, and I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for that moment to just slide in after him. And then finally, I reach that point, and I go in yelling. I'm just ready to go, so I go in like, ah, like going right after, sliding right at him. And suddenly, something hits me in the back of the throat. And I have two options. Either I need to swallow, or I need to try to cough this thing up. I don't know what it is, but unfortunately, I had to go with option one. And then I just look at Augie, and I swear this is what I say. I swallowed it. Augie looks at me and goes, "You swallowed what?" I said, "I swallowed the dart." He's looking at me, he's like, "Why are you whispering?" I said, "I don't know, I don't want it to move." And then finally, I ended up all right, and everything worked its way out. It's just My second memory goes back to chemistry, sophomore year, and it has to do with one of our valedictorians, Allie Pankhurst. And what I remember distinctly about this class and Allie was her hard work ethic, and her ability to achieve her goals. But what I remember also about Allie is how we compete on every assignment and every test to see who could do their best and see who was right on every problem that we would check. Unfortunately, she was right most of the time. But those qualities of Allie I've seen throughout the board with all of our class. Our ability to work hard to achieve what we want, to do the best we can, and to fill ourselves however we need be. My third memory is of Logan Taylor, and it goes back to my birthday this year when I turned 18. Both my best friends said on the day of my birthday, "Oh yeah, your gift's coming in the mail." And after 2 weeks, one of them actually had it. The other one was like, "Oh yeah, it's still in the mail, I promise it's coming, I promise." But Logan Taylor, he told me, "Oh, you'll know immediately what your gift is when you get it." And I was like, "Okay, that's awesome, thanks Logan." And so he comes to me one day with a black sack about this long, about this skinny, and I'm thinking, I don't know what this is. But then he hands it to me and I pull out a metal rod that looks like a tripod. I'm thinking, I'm not into photography, I don't know what this is. And then I pull something else out, and it's also a metal rod that I spread out into a music stand. I have never had a music stand, I've always needed one, and Logan knows how important music is in my life. And that was one of the most considerate things someone's ever done for me. And it was a small thing like that, but that's reflective of our class being there for each other. Because we see that's the small things that are by far the most important. And we do that for each other. My final memory I'd like to share goes back to junior year in September. We all suffered a loss of a friend, and it was a tragedy. And I remember that day being a wreck. I didn't know how I was going to get through that day. I remember walking through the hallway, getting to my locker, dropping my stuff, and I was about to lose it. I was about to cry, and I knew it was going to happen, but thankfully, someone else knew it was going to happen. They walked up to me and embraced me, and I felt completely safe then. And I couldn't believe that they had seen my weakness and was there for me when I needed it most. The funny part about this memory is that day I never looked up to see who it was. But it turns out I would have had to look up pretty far to see who it was. It was the next day that I asked someone, who was it that hugged me in the hallway? And they told me it was Bo. And I was thinking, of course it was. Because Bo is that kind of guy that when you need someone, he's there for you. And that's also characteristic of our class. Through assignments, through tests, we were there for each other. We were there during the difficult times. Through the stress of school, work, everything going on in our lives, we were there. And I know we'll be there for each other the rest of our lives. I'd like to take this moment to thank all the teachers who spent time with us to get a concept, to spend time after school when they didn't have to. All the coaches that pushed us to do our best and make us better. And finally, I'd like to thank all the parents who have been there for us every step of the way, who gave us their love and their care for us to achieve this goal today. We couldn't have done it without you. Thank you. Can we please have a round of applause? After I told you a few of these memories, hopefully you realize how memories make us who we are. For everyone here today, I encourage you in your lives to make memories you know you're going to look back on and love. The memories with the people you love and care about that you'll see make you better and become the person you are over the future. I'd like to end with a quote today, referring to achieving all the goals that I know you will achieve through life. This comes from The Pursuit of Happiness. Don't ever let someone tell you that you can't do something. You have a dream, you have to protect it. When people can't do something themselves, they're going to tell you that you can't do it. You want something, go get it. Period. Thank you.
So like we said, this is an amazing group, and you can see the connection with these kids and as a class. So as the valedictorians return to their seats, it is now my privilege to introduce today's guest speaker, our former mathematics teacher, Mr. James Kelly.
It's really not fair to follow speech and debate champions with a speech. Alright, I think you guys can all stand, just the graduates. I want to get a picture real quick. I think you guys don't need to squeeze in, I think it all. Smile. Beautiful. Well, here we are. Before I commence my commencement speech, I'll be honest in saying that speaking for you is a great honor. Before I start throwing out jokes, hoping they land, this moment is truly marvelous. I'm going to try not to tear up, but I may, just as a heads up. So I thank you, senior class, for asking me to do this. I hope during this commencement, everyone is able to listen rather than just hear, because listening and hearing are two different things. It's been a minute since I last stepped foot here at Bigfork High School. The gym looks great, although I'm not sure if it's finished because I'm still waiting on that air conditioning. Is that gonna happen? All right. But like the Stones say, you can't always get what you want. But Charlie Ball, once all this snow melts in the mountains, I think you'll have Bigfork High School swimming pool. Man. 4 years ago, in 2014, I stood in roughly the same position and gave the commencement address for the 2014 graduates. But even cooler than that was 4 years ago, I was at your 8th grade graduation. 4 years. To some people, that may seem like forever, maybe how you felt in high school. But for others, it feels like the blink of an eye. Has much changed in your life? Do you feel any different at all? Did you complete any goals? I actually almost said no to doing the commencement, which I'll explain later. But the love of my life and my best friend encouraged me to do so. She said you'll never know when you'll have another adventure like this. I apologize. Allow me to formally introduce myself. My name is James Kelly, and I'm a teacher, adventurer, friend, and present. At least that's what my Instagram says. I always feel the need to introduce myself because during my second year of teaching at Bigfork High School, back then it was one word, a substitute teacher tried to write me up because he thought I was skipping class. He tried to send me to Mr. Pavecchio's office, but I was really just going to visit Feller. And true to this day, I'm not joking, this happened yesterday. I was returning books at my new school, and the librarian tried to give me a fine. It wasn't until I presented my ID badge that they believed me. I digress. It's just another day on the job. Whoa, did some of you guys flinch at job? I feel like words, jobs, careers, work, are all triggers for senior students because it kind of makes them flinch a little bit. They're usually followed with a what and are you going to do with your life? What are you going to do? As if at the age of 18, you know what you want to do for the next 50 years. When really, we don't even know what we want for dinner. Questions like job, work, and career appear more and more frequently during your senior year than bonds and levies do in school districts. The truth is, those questions do not stop, and as years progress, become worse because they may become past tense. Whenever I tell people what I do for work or jobs or a career, people are generally surprised. They say, I must be crazy working with teenagers. And I say it helps. But they really emphasize that last word, teenagers. And usually I'll adapt to Mr. Rogers' quote and say, remember, you were all once teenagers too. It's almost like we block out those feelings of unknown, the harshness but humility of puberty, the social anxiety of wearing mismatched socks, the zits, and the compounding pressure from friends, family, and teachers to do your best. So then they'll pause and ask, well, what's your life like as a math teacher? And I'll say, awesome. Because getting to sprout random facts about mathematics to a bunch of youths only make up a small percentage of what I love about my job. I teach students, not math. I teach people. I teach. I choose to teach because every day I'm inspired in somehow, some way by the students I get to see. I've known some of you since you were in the 6th grade. That's 7 years. It may not seem like much now, but it is. 7 years of growth, 7 years of trials and tribulations. For real, this senior class holds a special spot in my heart since they were my last middle school class I ever taught. This class had students I went to Washington, D.C. with. This class had students I got to ski with and witness a yard sale that my wife still talks about to this day. This is the class that I got to coach track for 3 years, and they helped me push through one of my longest runs ever on a 10-hour day on Lone Beach. This is the class that's traveled to more places than most people go in a lifetime. This is a class that lost one of its own, only to bond together and become closer. This class of 2018 inspired me to be a better person each and every day when I taught you. I wish I could go on and read from this list how every single one of you affected me in my life and helped me out. But that would take away too much time, because today is about you, and this speech is mainly about time. Just like in the classroom, when I taught, I was on your time teaching. I was teaching math, but I was trying to sprinkle in some hidden life lessons in the layers of variables. This speech is not meant to sound selfish, but in my hopes you can listen and wait for the acoustic shadow to reach you and apply it to your life and grow your happiness exponentially. Back to careers. Yes, I love my job as a teacher. No, I'm not saying everyone should be teachers. No. Great Odin's Ravens, no. It may be the right job, but you have to be the right person for it. Like so many other people who choose the wrong job, it may not work out. But that's okay. I'm happy with my job. I'm happy with my career. I'm happy with whatever you call it. Because every day I am equally inspired, challenged, and happy. The best time to think about your career / your degree is before you have it. Duh. I have to say that though, because a lot of people graduate or get a job and are surprised at what all they have to do and not choose to do. They realize that expectations about their job were nowhere near what the reality is. Don't be pushed towards something you do not want to do. Pushed by friends, pushed by family, pushed by social norms, media, what have you. At the end of the day, be able to say, this is the life I chose rather than the life chosen for me. As Jimi Hendrix said, I've got my own life to live, so let me live my life the way I want to. We all should, because we only have so much time floating through space on these tectonic plates above lava. People ask if I'll teach or if I'll have the same job for the rest of my life. And I say maybe, maybe not. Whatever job allows me to keep going on adventures with my best friend and be equally inspired, happy, and challenged, then yeah, I will. Conversely though, it took some time to decide what to do in those 4 years after high school for myself, and I'm going to guess for some of us, for you as well. I opened up my mind in those 4 years after high school to realize what I wanted to do with my life. And it had little to do with a career, but more with experiences. Working to live rather than living to work. I started creating goals I wanted to achieve within my life. My biggest goal I had in high school was to ski every day. Yes, I was a ski bum in high school and still am, but I wanted to be able to get paid to ski. So, through a lot of creativity, but even more hard work, I was able to land a job on Mount Hood and ski every single day whilst I was a counselor at a ski camp. After I had accomplished that, I was kind of stuck for a while. I went back to school, and I graduated and became a teacher, and got to teach here at Bigfork High School, crossing off one of my biggest goals yet. And then a kind of side goal started happening. I realized that my metabolism started to slow down and I started to grow horizontally more and not vertically. So I decided to speed up and I made a goal of running 1,000 miles in a year. By running 1,000 miles in a year, I got to meet some great people. I got a coach, and I never thought I would be a track coach. Shortly after achieving 1,000 miles, I made a bigger goal I didn't think I would ever meet. I made a new goal of working in a foreign country. It took some time, but 9 years after graduation, I had a job teaching in England with students from all across the world. And best of all, I had my best friend with me. In our free time, we backpacked to Ireland, Scotland, Wales, France, Italy, Greece, Hungary, Austria, Germany, and Switzerland. Once I crossed that goal off the list, I was stuck. I started thinking back to when I was in those seats at graduation. And I started having questions. Questions like, well, what's the next thing in life? What do you do when you achieve greatness? What do you do when you become a state champion? What do you do after graduation? What now? Well, heavy is the head that wears the crown, and time waits for no man, and death waits with cold hands. So we march on. We make new goals. My next big goal I have yet to achieve is a combination between hitting 7 continents and living abroad for more than a year. I say this because, yeah, that's a big goal. But life's too short not to dream big. In the good book, Gandalf summarizes my thoughts more beautifully, stating, all we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given us. All we have to do is decide what to do with the time that is given us. We're all mortals whether we accept it or not, and our time is finite. Take advantage of your free time to do what you love, because you can fail at what you don't want to do, so you might as well take a chance on doing something you love. My wife and I have a saying within us called Adventures with Randers. Adventures is both a verb and a noun, best defined as an unusual, exciting, typically hazardous experience or activity. Until I was 27, most of my adventures dealt within 20 miles of where I grew up. Glacier Park to the northeast, Big Mountain to the north, and Bitter Lake to the northwest. All those were great adventures, but I felt the need to break free from my nucleus. My therapist says the youngest child is the forgotten one, which I disagree with. I think they're the wanderer, and not all those who wander are lost. When I married a girl who's in love with the world, I couldn't help but follow. I'm not saying everyone needs to travel to appreciate life, but I'll be damned if it doesn't give you a better perspective on yourself and the world at large. Whilst traveling, I'm always reminded there's more to traveling than a destination. There's more than seeing the clouds roll off the Matterhorn on a crisp August morning. There's more than the rising and falling hills of England. There's more than the enchanted shades of green captured in the Scottish Highlands. It's the people you meet along the way, and the people you share the moment with. The film analogy, which only a handful of you may get, I use here, is the ending of The Field of Dreams, where a father and a son just have a catch. Spending time with someone, just like how you guys spend so much time with each other. Having a moment, sharing the human experience. One of my favorite moments last year was when my wife and I were in Berlin, in a piano bar, surrounded by people, all speaking German. The only German word I know describes the amount of German I know, 9. We sat on bar stools in a crowded candlelit room, drowned in German conversation. We had no idea what the patrons were saying, but in some strange splendor, that was comforting. We were surrounded by foreign noise, but the beauty was in the background, as it often is, as a piano melody of a Beatles song played. It's those moments I live for. Those moments where we're not busy trying to get from one place to the next. Those moments where we're not gut-punched by the 24/7 news cycle, or bombarded with social media, or trying to figure out what to watch on Netflix, but just watching the wheels roll by, being in the moment. Take some time in these next 4 years, every day, for some headspace, or meditation, or being in the moment. In the moment we sit down, the moment we let go of everything else, we are simply sitting in the shared human condition, not allowing our past to ruffle us, or the future to distract us, we sit and appreciate each passing moment. Meditation reminds us, if there is no struggle, there is no progression. And speaking of progression, I spoke earlier about how I almost said no to being the commencement speaker. The main reason for that was because I myself could not recall the last time there was a female commencement speaker at Bigfork High School. I'm not blaming anyone, but I'm just trying to make it known, contrary to what most people believe, probably only males believe, but men do not give the best advice. Honestly, it's probably the contra to that. God only knows where I'd be without Kathy, Mary, and Nancy in my life. So I present a challenge to you up-and-coming Bigfork students, and find a female commencement speaker in these next 2 years. And if you need any leads, just ask, because there's more than a plethora of them in this amazing community we live in. Well, my time's almost up. Your time's almost here. Let's sum it up. 4 years. This advice goes for anyone. Take these words home. Think them through. This is advice of your teacher, student, doctor, lawyer, cook, artist, Republican, Democrat, liberal, conservative, Catholic, Christian, Jewish, Muslim, black, white, American, gay, straight, bi, pan, trans, or anything else you may be. In these next 4 years, take moments to feel alive. In these next 4 years, take moments to feel wonder and curiosity. In these next 4 years, set goals for yourself. Mistakes may be made and failures may happen, but none of that matters if you do what I asked of you every day in my classroom. Learn. Work hard. Be somebody. Be something more than what you see in the mirror. Let the world be your mirror. Don't let them judge you, because the mirror can't judge you. You judge what you see in the mirror. Thank you and good luck.
Thank you, Mr. Kelly. So we're now ready to present the diplomas that we've come here for today. So at this time, I ask that the school board members, Mr. Jensen and Mr. Appleby, will you please take your places to announce and greet the graduates of the class of 2018.
I will now present the class of 2018. Yeah. Justice Alan Lee Caton. Chase Allen Wilkerson. Brianna Marie Hathaway. Lydia Eve Shelley. Shay Marie Anderson. Haley Marie Norris. Reagan Gardner. Caster Michael Conley. Melissa Emily Paulson. Catherine Elizabeth. Ashton Morley Edgerton. Alexander Stephen Emsley. Abigail Sue Ellison. Melissa Lynn Maitland. Dylan Harlan Richmond. Logan Michael Kaminsky. Reese Nissen. Bryn Ann Morley. Alice Stewart. Isabel Ann Stewart. Ann Whitman. William Leland Penrock. Kate Lynn Ford. Raymond William Hatch. Kimberly Rose Marie Francis McDonald. Kinsey Lynn Bueller. Ellie Josephine Barrett. Abigail Dawn Lemke. Wyatt Lester Mishke. Chase Locke Chapius. Oliver Ray Martinez. Madeline Rose Henley. Ethan Russ. Dylan Connor Recht. Zachary Thomas Wenzel. Austin James Varner. Jamie Berg. Emily Ann Park. Jaden Psalm Dillon. Kyle Dean Cumming. Cassie Dawn Thompson Rodell. Zachary Ethan DeMoss. James Zarn. Dylan Shane O'Connor. Alexander Joseph Benz. Riley Elizabeth Hovland. Reuben Shaw Hubbard. Savannah Rose Webster. Grace Patricia Olikowski. Michael David Bedford, Jr. Logan Kenyon Taylor. Bo Luis Michael Sanesteven. Olivia Paige Martell. Cameron Lee Rogers. Alyssa Neilani Pankos. Kimberly Anais Meraldo. Rachel Marie Whitney. S. Claveria. Lara Olivia Gunzler. Jacob Paul Shea. Adriana Marie Keeney. Adam Christopher Jensen. Roxanne Marie Carroll.
It is now my privilege to invite Superintendent Mr. Matt Jensen to come to the podium and formally receive the class of 2018. I would also like to have our senior class president, Grace, return to the stage one final time to lead her class as they are officially received as graduates of Bigfork High School. Mr. Jensen.
Ms. Olkowski, as class president, thank you for joining me in presenting your class.
I think you can all see why we're so proud of them. Great speakers, just tremendous athletes, tremendous students. You guys have left a mark, we're going to miss you. Students, parents, members of the board, and guests, it gives me great pleasure to announce the class of 2018 has met all state and district requirements for high school graduation. Seniors, please rise.
Fellow seniors, move your tassel from right to left.
I present to you the graduating class of 2018.
The graduate class will be walking out, and the senior area will be out in the foyer. They'll be going out to their song of their choice. Congratulations, class of 2018.